And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very exciting show today. Today we are going to be looking at the last citizenship arranged by Brisbane City Council for 24-23 as we get ready for 2024. Well, once again, there was about 600 new citizens last night, and what a great ceremony it was. And we'd like to congratulate and welcome everyone who took the citizenship last night at the Brisbane City Hall. As we know that the citizenship ceremony is arranged by Brisbane City Council, throughout the year, and they sift through quite a lot of people. So many people that get the citizenship right at the Brisbane City Hall. The format mainly is that there is a VIP reception at the Gold Mirror Room before the ceremony begins. The guests come in and they take seats in the main auditorium with the guest. You can see the main auditorium there, and then the citizenship ceremony takes place. After the ceremony, then there is a reception with select number of recipients. They obviously can't have everyone, and the VIP guests who are there. So today we'll look at the glimpses of the last Citizenship Award for 2023, arranged by the Brisbane Lord Mayor Adrian Srina at the Brisbane City Hall. So let's go to Brisbane City Hall and let's take a look at some of the proceedings that took place there.
Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the descendants of the Yakima and the Turrbal people of Brisbane City. For over 65,000 years, our families have been walking this land. It's a great pleasure to be here tonight to welcome you. This next song and dance I'd like to do for you is one which we call Mikirapa. And if you haven't been in North Stoneway Garden, just off the coast of Brisbane, you go there by a boat. And when you go there, it's named the Land of the Mosquito. And so it takes you about half a day for the mosquitoes to blood you in.
Country and its traditional custodians. We acknowledge and respect the spiritual relationship between the traditional custodians and this country, which has inspired language, song, dance, law and dreaming stories over many thousands of years. We pay our respect to elders, those who have passed into the dreaming, those here today, and those of tomorrow. May we continue to peacefully live together in gratitude, respect, and kindness in caring for one another and this country. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a few special guests in the hall tonight. I'd just like to start off by acknowledging them. The Right Honourable the Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Councillor Adrian Srina, is here tonight, and just to give you a quick fact, after tonight, the Lord Mayor would have conferred almost 25,000 new Australians, and I think that deserves a round of applause. We also have with us Mr. Charles Mullen, MP, Assistant Minister for Treasury and Member for Jordan. And we also have, ladies and gentlemen, Mikey Webb, our Auslan interpreter. Now, Mikey normally gets a rock star applause for coming along tonight, so we're going to do it. We love having Mikey with us, just as long as there's no trees and birds above him. We just love having him in the building. I'd also like to acknowledge some other VIPs. Mr. Jared Balaché, MP and Deputy Leader for the Opposition, Shadow Minister for State Development, Infrastructure Planning, Shadow Minister for the Olympics, Paralympics Planners, Jobs, Shadow Minister for Industrial Relations, and the Member for Kawana. From Brisbane City Council, we have a couple of colleagues of mine. We have Councillor Tracy Davis, our Civic Cabinet Chair for the Environment, Parks and Sustainability, and Councillor for McDowell. And Tracy is responsible for the reason why Brisbane is so clean and green. So can we have a round of applause for her, please? We also have with us, ladies and gentlemen, one of our newest councillors, And our council chamber is made up of 60% female representation. Sorry, I've been corrected by the Lord Mayor, it happens often, it's 65% female representation. And ladies and gentlemen, the councillor that pushed us beyond any other level of government for female representation is Councillor Danita Parry, Councillor from Marchant. Can you please welcome her? We also have members of the Defence Force that are here. We have Wing Commander Tanya Evans, 23 Squadron, representing Group Captain Dennis Tan, RAAF at Amberley. And we also have Queensland Fire Emergency Services, Chief Superintendent Kevin Reading, representing Commissioner Gregory Leach. Can we have a round of applause for those, please? We also have members of our multicultural round table, and present here this evening is Mr. Bob Bishop, the Australia-Israel Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Michael Chan, Chinese Club of Queensland, Mr. Umesh Chandra OAM, GOPIO International. We have Ms. Connie De Chandra, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Australia Philippines. We also have Mr. Andrew Fu, Singapore Business Group of Australia, and we have probably one of the gentlemen up on the balcony that has probably the coolest last name. We have Mr. Serge Velashenko, community and council and also the other representatives of the multicultural organisations and communities. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for what is the last citizenship ceremony of the year. And I have to say, whenever I am in this room, and I'm in this room a lot, my office is just over there, I'm struck by a sense of history. Because this building is one of the older buildings in Brisbane, and it's been open since 1930. This building was finished in 1930. And every year, and virtually every day and every evening, throughout the years, there's been events held in this building. There's been some pretty special and important things that have happened in this room. The late Queen Elizabeth has been in here. She's walked on these floorboards and been on this stage. Princess Diana, the Rolling Stones have played on this stage, believe it or not. We've been trying to get them back again without success. We'll keep trying. There's been countless school graduations, university graduations, awards nights, charity fundraisers. There's been even weddings and the occasional memorial service held in this room as well. But in my view, the most important thing that happens in this room is what is happening tonight. The step that you are taking this evening is an incredibly significant one. And as I look around the room, I see faces that have come from every corner of the globe. And I can only imagine the different stories that have led you to be in this room tonight. Those stories would be incredibly diverse. Some of those stories would have included significant hardship and challenges and hurdles. Some of those stories may have taken significant time to reach this point. And I'll tell you about one story of someone who came before you, sat in this room in the year 1974. Right down in the middle section here, a young man was doing what you're doing tonight, and he was becoming an Australian citizen. His story started as a very young boy in a town in Germany called Dortmund during the Second World War. And he was just 7 years of age when the Second World War had finished. So he's very young during that period of war. And Dortmund was part of the industrial area of Germany, manufacturing area. And as a result, it was one of the most heavily bombed parts of the country. And in fact, more than 90% of all buildings in the town of Dortmund during the war were completely destroyed. So this young man, 7 years of age, at the end of the war, had seen his town destroyed. Every night he heard the bombers coming over, he heard the bombs dropping. Him and his family went hungry a lot of the time. He saw planes crash in a field near his house. And one of the best things that they could eat was to catch a rabbit in the field near the house. And that would provide them a meal. And so there was significant hardship, and particularly for a young boy experiencing this kind of situation. And so as he grew up and his country and his town started to repair itself and rebuild after the war, he grew up and became a teenager and then a young man. But because of what had happened in his country and his town, he didn't see a bright future in that town. And one day he had the opportunity to come to the other side of the world and to start a new life in a place that he believed would be a place of opportunity. He arrived here as a new migrant with no money, just by himself. He didn't know anyone, he didn't have any friends, he couldn't speak English, he had nothing. But he had in his heart a sense of hope and optimism, and also a desire to work hard and to build something. So he arrived here, he came to a migrant camp, and in these camps, new Australians would arrive and they would be offered jobs in various parts of the nation. And he was given a job in a town called Jindabyne. Who's heard of Jindabyne? It is up in the snowy mountains. And at that time, the Snowy River Scheme was being built, the hydroelectric Snowy River Scheme. And there's this new town that had popped up, and he got his first job working in Jindabyne. And then he moved to different towns across Australia and found himself in Sydney. One night, he went out to his local German club. And he met a girl there. That girl was an Australian girl. They shared a meal, they shared a drink, and it was love at first sight. That girl had been born in Germany, not in Germany, but in Brisbane, in the suburb of Holland Park. And she had moved down to Sydney for work. So once they got married, that young girl convinced the young man to move back to Brisbane, where she had been born. They came here, they started a small business together, they worked hard, they started a family together. That man had arrived in Australia in 1960, and then in 1974 he sat in this very room to become a new citizen. On the stage at that time was the Lord Mayor, this man called Clem Jones, who was a great Lord Mayor of the city. And the man was looking up. When he was becoming a new citizen, he had no idea that his son would one day become the Lord Mayor of Brisbane. I'm talking about my father, who became a citizen in this very Tonight is very personal, it's very special. I think about the journey my dad went through, I think about the migrant story that led to me being here, and I get excited about the future. Because I know in every face in this room, all of the new citizens, there's exciting stories ahead. I know that the future of our city and our country is strong and bright, because I know that that story, well, my story, my dad's story, will be repeated time and time again as the generations go on. This city now has around 1 in 3 people that were born overseas. It's a very multicultural place, and it's made richer and stronger and more vibrant by those migrant stories. And tonight, there's a whole new generation of migrant stories that are beginning as we become the newest members of the Australian community, the newest members of the Brisbane community, and there is a very bright future ahead for our city. So thank you very much for allowing me to be part of your city.
So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, up to date on the AMX show. And thank you so much for joining us on the show today. That was the wonderful, the Royal Navy Band there, and amazing that they are. And the two numbers that they did last night was just amazing. So ladies and gentlemen, for the citizenship ceremonies by Brisbane City Council, this was the last one for 2023. Right now, let's take a look at some of the functions and events taking place right here in Brisbane. And there's quite a lot which we will talk about, and maybe tomorrow we'll bring to you a live interview as well. So there, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining on the show and all the upcoming events that's taking place. As we know, getting towards the end of the year, there's a few slowdown as well. So there will be lots of Christmas functions happening right now as well. And tomorrow we'll talk about an upcoming concert. That concert is only on this Sunday. The Ostats were in this thing, and we will be talking about that with maybe Parvinder tomorrow. Otherwise, we will bring to you all the details about that upcoming event that is being supported by Brisbane Indian Times and Australian Indian Radio. Well, ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow, it's goodbye from us. And as I mentioned before, it's always wonderful to have your company. So until tomorrow, be good.